colleagues. Good afternoon, every panel members. My name is Machirika Lungu, Director of Finance, MUSHINDAMO Town Council. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, members of the committee. My name is Beston Chambeshi Jr., Internal Auditor, MUSHINDAMO Town Council. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair, and good afternoon, honorable members. My name is Mapiki Nefas. I'm the Director of Planning. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chairperson and members of the committee and the permanent witnesses. I'm Liwambela Mlala, the former Director of Engineer.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members. My name is Zachariah Malupande. I'm the former Procurement Officer for MUSHINDAMO Town Council.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. My name is Zuide Zulu, the Assistant Procurement Officer for MUSHINDAMO Town Council.
Thank you. When you just come like this, it makes our lives very easy, because you have come with those who were there and the current team. So engagements become very smooth. This is how it's supposed to be. Permanent witnesses, starting with AG's office.
Thank you, Chair, and good afternoon. Good afternoon, honorable members. MUSHINDAMO Council Secretary and Management Team, good afternoon. And good afternoon, everyone else. My name is Patricia Malaila, Director from Office of the Auditor General. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members. Good afternoon, CS and the team. I'm Siwira Eddy, Principal Auditor, Office of the Auditor General.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Apiri Stephen. I'm the Assistant Director, Solwezi Provincial Audit Office. Thank you.
Good afternoon once more, Chair. Good afternoon, members of the committee. Good afternoon, MUSHINDAMO. My name is Achubia Davis, Assistant Director, Local Authorities Department, Ministry of Finance and National Planning, Audit Division, and you're welcome.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members of the committee, MUSHINDAMO Town Council. Good afternoon, and you're welcome. My name is Joyce Kubansa from Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. Thank you.
Clerk's office.
Thank you so much, Chairperson, and good afternoon once more to you and other honorable members. Our witness, good afternoon and you're welcome. I am Chirimboy Elijah from the Office of the Clerk of National Assembly. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you. Mfumbwe.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Good afternoon, honorable colleagues, and good afternoon, our permanent witnesses. Good afternoon, MUSHINDAMO Town Council. You are welcome to your committee. My name is Elliot Kamondo, Member of Parliament for Mfumbwe constituency.
Kaumbwe.
Good afternoon, MUSHINDAMO Town Council, and welcome to your committee on local government accounts. I'm Honorable Dr. Aaron Mwanza, Member of Parliament for Kaumbwe constituency in Bedauke District. Thank you.
Chair, with your permission, Chair, MUSHINDAMO, I'm Mishek Mutelo. My plea to you is, after you would have seen your colleagues to work in that manner, you may feel disturbed. You are not Kasem Manyinga. You are MUSHINDAMO. You have your own report. So be relaxed. Get focused on your report. Yes, are you getting that, sir? Yes, Mutelo Misheki, MP for Mitete or of Mitete, whatever. It's not my mother language. Yeah. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. CS, my name is Mishek Mutetwa Nyambose. I represent the wonderful people of Chasefo constituency in Eastern Province, and I happen to chair your committee. You are not in court, you are appearing as a witness. We just want to find out how you utilized the CDF as highlighted by Auditor General's Office for the year 2023. So feel relaxed and feel at home. You have your team where you feel you cannot give an answer. Let the other technocrats help you. With that said, I would like to ask you to proceed to give us your report by reading the title of the query, then you go to management's response, then action taken or remedial measures. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I'm guided. Chair, with your permission, allow me to include an addendum to our report that we earlier submitted, Chair.
It is welcome. You can give it.
Thank you, Chair. With your guidance, Chair, should I explain more about the addendum, or I can be guiding as we reach the particular page?
You can be referring to it as we reach there. So you can just proceed, then after we shall refer to the addendum.
Thank you, Chair. Query number A, failure to disclose performance output achievements. Management response. Management acknowledges the auditor's finding on the performance output achieved, and it is regrettable that management did not avail performance output achieved at the time of audit. Action taken. The table below shows the performance output targets achieved in 2023 under the CDF programs. The first output indicator, Chair, was a percentage of community projects successfully completed, which was at 80%. You see Appendix 1. The second one, Chair, is a percentage of youth programs supported at 98%, Appendix 2. The third one, percentage of women programs supported, 95%, Appendix 2. Number 4, percentage of schools bursaries offered, 95%, Appendix 3. The fifth one, Chair, is a percentage of education skills bursaries offered. This was at 67%, Appendix 3. Remedial measures. Management will endeavor to disclose performance output achievements attained in the period under review at the time of audit. Query B, questionable approval of payment, construction of a bridge and embankment at Kiambulumina and rehabilitation of Fwemba and Kafwemba crossing points. Management response, questionable approval of payments. The Director of Works was left to act on behalf of the Council Secretary, who was out of office at the time, and he approved the payment coming from his department, which had a variation that the Council Secretary already approved. Furthermore, one of the two bridges that were under rehabilitation was not stone pitched at the time of audit. Action taken. Management wishes to report that the letter of appointment for the Director Engineering to act as Council Secretary has been attached, and that the Kafwemba Bridge has since been stone pitched. See Appendix 4. Remedial measures. Management will endeavor to adhere to the provisions of the Public Finance Management Act and other regulations in order to ensure internal controls are strengthened during implementation process. Query number C, construction of health posts at Kingovwa. Management response. Management acknowledges the auditor's finding and wishes to state that the cause of the query and action taken are in the table below. So, on the first one, on the type of query was cracks on the newly installed floor. Cause of the query, the floor cracked due to lack of expansion joints. Action taken. The floor plan has since been changed to terrazzo. The approval has been done and the project is under procurement stage. See Appendix 5. The second one, no official handover and no security guard or caretaker to safeguard the property. Cause of the query, lack of essential supporting infrastructure like ablution block and staff houses. Action taken, Chair. Under the 2025 CDF allocation, the project has been allocated funds for a staff house, water reticulation, and ablution block. See Appendix 5. The third one, Chair. Closed health posts due to lack of essential facilities. Lack of funds, on the cause of query, lack of funds for essential supporting infrastructure like ablution block and staff houses. Under the 2025 action taken under 2025 CDF allocation, the project was allocated funds for the staff house, water reticulation, and ablution block. The fourth one, termites on the wall. The building stayed for a while without being used. The building has since been action taken. The building has since been fumigated. See Appendix 6. Remedial measures, management to ensure that contractors are supervised closely to guarantee quality works are done and that the projects are fully funded, including all essential supporting facilities. Query number D, construction of boys dormitory ablution block at Lamba Day Secondary. Management response. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings and wishes to state that the cause of the query and action taken are in the table below. Type of query, delayed completion of the project. Cause of query, the contractor delayed to complete the project, citing lack of accessibility. Action taken, the project has since been completed and handed over. See Appendix 7. Type of query, ablution block, and completed works on the ablution block. Action taken, the ablution block has since been completed and handed over. See Appendix 7. The type of query on the dormitory and completed works on the dormitory. The dormitory has since been completed and handed over. See Appendix 7. Risk of encroachment. The structure were built closer to the villages and the school has no title deed. The council, action taken, the council wrote to Deb's office to start the process of acquiring title. See Appendix 7. Remedial measures. Management will continue to ensure that all projects are closely monitored and completed on time. Chair, the next query is on physical verification and status of projects. So the projects involved, Chair, was the construction of girls' dormitory and ablution block at Lamba Day Secondary School. The second one, Chair, is the construction of Phase 1 police station at St. Dorothy. The third one is construction of skills center. Management response. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings and wishes to state that the cause of the query and action taken are in the table below. Number 1, construction of girls' dormitory ablution block at Lamba Day Secondary School. Cause of the query, clogged bathroom pipes and no shower curtains. The clogged bathroom pipes have since been worked on and shower curtains installed. See Appendix 7. The second one, construction of Phase 1 police station at St. Dorothy. Cause of the query, notice board not installed. Action taken, the notice board has since been installed. See Appendix 8. Third one is construction of skills training center. Cause of the query, uncompleted works due to inadequate funding under the capital projects and change of project to a 1x3 classroom block. Action taken, The project has since been adopted by the CDF committee under the 2025 budget, and the project is at procurement stage. See Appendix 9. Chair, remedial measures. Management will closely supervise the contractors to ensure that the scope of work is followed. Furthermore, management will ensure that adequate funds are available and secured before starting a project. Query E. Management of secondary school boarding and skills development bursaries. The first one is wasteful expenditure, dropout students. Management response. Management acknowledges the auditor's observation and that the 7 students had dropped out under skills bursaries, citing various reasons. Action taken. Management wishes to report that a follow-up action was taken with institutions and learners to ensure timely reporting and course completion. In order to avoid wasteful expenditure, see Appendix 10. Remedial measures. Management will constantly monitor the learners through engagement with the training institutions to make sure that the dropout rate is reduced and funds are recovered. The second one, failure to maintain pupils' records, secondary schools. Management response. Cause of the query. Management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observations, and it is regrettable that Council did not avail maintain pupils' records under the secondary school component. Action taken. Management wishes to report that the affected secondary schools were written to and monitored to ascertain their attendance. See Appendix 11. Remedial measures. Management will ensure records of students or pupils are updated regularly. The third one, Chair. Failure to maintain grant utilization records by cooperatives. Management response. Cause of the query. Cooperatives failed to maintain grant utilization records that made it not possible to ascertain proper utilization. Action taken. Management wishes to report that affected cooperatives were visited and their businesses verified. Management went further and verified receipts from the affected cooperatives for the items purchased. See Appendix 12. Remedial measures. Management will ensure that capacity building and monitoring are intensified to make sure that cooperatives use the funds for the intended purpose and maintain finance records. F, which is other matters, failure to avail activity reports. Management response. Cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's findings and it is regrettable that activity reports were not availed to auditors at the time of audit. Action taken. Management wishes to report the breakdown of the activity reports are available for verification. See Appendix 13. Remedial measures. Management will ensure that all activity reports are attached to payment vouchers and are available to auditors at the time of audit. The second one, Chair, questionable payment, procurement of building materials. Management response. Cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's findings and wishes to state that the materials in question were for Kalomboshi Primary School but paid using funds that remained from Yowela Primary School. Action taken. Management has since completed works on the Kalomboshi Primary School and the school is in use. See Appendix 14. Remedial measures. Management will ensure that funds that remain from projects are promptly reported to the CDF for reallocation to other projects. The third one, unaccounted for procured building materials. Management response. Cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's findings on the procured building materials. Management wishes to report that the project could not continue due to the heavy rains at the time, and materials were recalled from site, which led to some of the materials missing. Action taken. Management instituted inquiries into the matter. Only 4 shutter boards were found under the store's office. However, management was unable to find the missing materials and has since instituted recovery process from the project manager. Additionally, the crossing point was submitted to be done under the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, as the scope of work has now significantly increased. The project is still under procurement at the ministry. See Appendix 15. Remedial measures. Management will continue to enhance internal controls to ensure accurate and transparent accounting for all purchased materials. Chair, I move on to the appendices. Appendix 1, Budget, Funding and Expenditure. Management response, cause of query. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings on the retained funds. Action taken. Management wishes to state that the 115,612.43 ngwe was retained centrally to cover the costs of insuring the CDF monitoring vehicle. See Appendix 16. Remedial measures. Management will continue to adhere to the CDF guidelines and circulars, ensuring compliance with any updates or revisions issued from time to time. Appendix 2, Chair, total unspent fund of 10,663,958. Management response, cause of query. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings and wishes to state that the failure to spend 10,663,958 was due to the following reasons. Chair, on page 18, allow me to read from the addendum. At the time of printing, the table below had missed 3 items. So I refer you to the addendum.
No problem, you can go ahead.
Number 1, Chair, particulars, the community project and spent funds as at 31st December 2023 was 7,822,141. Cause of query, funds were reserved from the construction of Chief's Palace, the Rural Electrification Authority projects, disaster projects, and retention from completed projects. Additionally, some funds were for running projects. The third one, Chair, on grants, there was a balance of 172,065 kwacha. Some approved the cause of query. Some approved cooperatives did not have active bank accounts at the time of audit. Bursaries, we had unspent funds of 2,669,752. Cause of query, this was due to the low response from the students. The total amount, which is coming to 10,663,958. Action taken. Management requested for variation of the 2,669,752 for bursaries to community projects as shown on the table below, and has since spent a total sum of 6,840,661. See Appendix 17. So on the table, Chair, under community projects, the amount spent so far is 5,820,428.62 ngwe. The grants, we spent 173,820. Then the funds for RIA and Chief's Palace, they remain unspent.
You can skip those.
Number 8, Chair, varied from skills to community projects. So the amount that was varied from community projects, out of it 864,412 was spent, which is given as a total spent amount as 6,840,661. Remedial measures: management to ensure that funds are spent within the financial year and engage the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development on reserve funds. Appendix 2.1, unspent fund community projects. 9,205,949. Cause of query: management acknowledges the auditor's findings and wishes to state that the balance on the community projects as of 31st December 2023 was 9,205,949. The unspent was due to funds reserved under the Rural Electrification Authority, construction of chief palaces, retention of completed projects, and running projects. Action taken: management has since spent the 5,220,428 62 on community projects as per attached breakdown, and payment vouchers are available for further verification. See Appendix 17. Remedial measures: management to ensure projects are implemented within the financial year. Appendix 2.2, unspent fund empowerment grants. Management response. Cause of query: management acknowledges the auditor's findings and wishes to state that this was due to approved cooperatives having inactive bank accounts at the time of payment. Action taken: the cooperatives were advised to activate their accounts or open new accounts, and management has since dispersed the 172,065 kwacha. See Appendix 17. Remedial measures: management to ensure funds for grants are dispersed within the financial year. Appendix 2.3, secondary boarding and skills development bursaries. Management response: management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observations of unspent funds of 2,669,752. Action taken: management wishes to state that unspent amount was varied to community projects as the uptake of the beneficiaries was low. See Appendix 17. Remedial measures: management will make sure that the funds are spent in the financial year by constantly engaging the community through sensitizations of the beneficiaries to come forward and take up the component amount. Appendix 2.4, unspent fund administrative cost. The balance of minus 5,784. Management response: management wishes to report that the total expenditure on administrative component of 1,415,695 was within the CDF 2023 budget allocation. Action taken: management continued to review the expenditure ledgers for the administrative component. Remedial measures: management will ensure that the administrative cost is spent within the financial year and within the budget allocation. Appendix 3, 2022 community projects. Work in progress 2, outstanding 0. Management response. Cause of query: management acknowledges the auditor's observations and the community projects under work in progress. Action taken: the 2 projects have since been completed. See Appendix 18. Remedial measures: management will continue to ensure that all projects are implemented within the financial year. Appendix 4, community projects for 2023. Approved 11, implemented 9, work in progress 0, outstanding 2. Management response. Cause of query: management acknowledges the auditor's observations and wishes to state that the 2 outstanding projects are the construction of the Chief's Palace and the projects to be done under the MOU with Rural Electrification Authority. Action taken: management has since written to the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development and sought guidance on the utilization of the funds reserved for the construction of the Chief's Palace. The funds have since been approved on the rehabilitation of feeder roads. Additionally, management has continued to engage RIA and has submitted sites to be electrified. See Appendix 17. Remedial measures. Management will continue to ensure that all projects are implemented within the financial year. Appendix 5, analysis of performance, youth, women, and community grants. Management response, cause of query. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings on the performance analysis on the youth, women, and community grants. Action taken, management dispersed grants for the approved beneficiary, see Appendix 17. Remedial measures, management will continue to ensure that all beneficiaries are paid on time. Appendix 7, failure to account for funds. Number of cooperatives, 12, total grants, 235,000. Management response, cause of query, management wishes to report that the failure to account for funds was due to failure to maintain grant utilization records by the cooperatives. Action taken, management wishes to state that the affected cooperatives were monitored and their businesses verified. Management went further and had a meeting with the affected cooperatives and further collected receipts from the cooperatives. See Appendix 12. Remedial measures. Management will ensure that the capacity building and monitoring are intensified to make sure that cooperatives use the money for the intended purpose. Management will continue building capacity on the grant beneficiaries to ensure that they account for the funds dispersed to them. Appendix 8, performance analysis, soft loans. Management response, cause of query. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings and wishes to state that failure to spend was due to the applicants not meeting all the requirements of the empowerment loans and were dropped after screening by Zambia National Commercial Bank. Action taken, management has since spent the whole amount and paid extra beneficiaries through the revolving funds. Remedial measures, management will continue conducting financial capacity building to empowerment loan beneficiaries and also intensify community sensitization on the application procedures for empowerment loans. Appendix 9, failure to recover loans. Management response, cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observations on the failure to recover the loans. Action taken. Management has been constantly engaging the loan beneficiaries and has since recovered 498,164 as shown on the bank statement. See Appendix 19. Remedial measures. Management will continue engagement meetings with the beneficiaries so that they do not accrue arrears. Appendix 10, secondary boarding skills development bursaries. On the number of graduates. Cause of query, management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observations on the graduates under the CDF in 2023. Action taken, management has been committed in checking the learners' progress as can be seen from the attached activity reports where our CDF chairperson and our socio-economic planner attended the graduation ceremony. Furthermore, we communicated with affected schools and the number of graduates from the secondary schools have been ascertained. See Appendix 20. Remedial measures. Management will continue engaging the secondary schools to monitor the movements of the learners and record the number of graduates. Appendix 13, analysis of performance of desks. Undelivered desks, 1,041,000. Cost of undelivered desks is 1,028,210. Management response. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings and wishes to state that the 1,041 desks were at the Civic Center at the time of audit. action taken, management wishes to state that all the 1,041 desks have since been delivered to various schools in the district. Delivery notes are available for verification. See Appendix 21. Remedial measures. Management will ensure that all the desks procured, inspected, then delivered to the various schools by their suppliers. This will increase efficiency in the delivery of desks. In conclusion, Chair, I wish to assure the committee that remedial measures that have been submitted to the committee will be implemented and reviewed for further improvement. I submit, Chair.
Thank you very much, Council Secretary, for that wonderful submission. It's now time for points of clarifications, starting with Honorable Member from Fumbwe.
Thank you, Chair. I have some few points of clarifications that I may wish to ask. On page 3,
let's go to page 3.
The query is questionable approval of payment, construction of a bridge and embankment at Mburumina and rehabilitation of Fuemba and the Kafuemba crossing point. I will not read actually the query. Maybe I would like to go to where it started on on the 19th of September, paragraph 1, 2, 3, most paragraph 4. So,
are you following CS and your team?
Yes, Chair.
Yes. On the 19th of September 2023, the council made a payment of 1,034 kwacha and 91 to Orbit Engineering Limited, reflected as payment certificate number 1. However, the payment was questionable in that memo. Variation application, interim payment certificate, and the measure and the variation sheet were all approved by a single individual, the Director of Works. Further, the payment voucher was not approved by the Council Secretary and it was not audited by the internal auditor. A physical verification carried out on the 24th of May, in May, reviewed that the bridge embankment was not stone pitched as seen in the picture. Now, from the council, I wanted to find out, first of all, you have indicated that the Director of Works made these approvals, some of the approvals, because he was left to act. And you have also provided actually evidence to show that indeed, in the absence of the CS, the Director of Works was allowed to act, and hence the need to violate or to do what he did, to give permission. However, the first question, when the auditors were in Mushindamo, did you avail this letter which you have availed today to show them that indeed the reason why the Director of Works had done the job like representing the CS was because he was actually allowed to act? Did you show them the letter? That's the first question before I go further.
Council Secretary.
Thank you, Chair. The information that I gathered was the letter was shown to the auditors. However, they were not convinced because the trial showed that it was one person. So the query was not dropped at the time. But I will ask my colleagues just to comment on the same at the time.
The one who was a treasurer at that time, where is he? You were the treasurer?
Yes, Chair.
How many signatories to the accounts?
We
at MUSHINDAMO at that time. Okay, the standard, how many are signatories?
The standard is actually for CDF we have got 4 on panel A and 4 on panel B.
So the treasurer is also a signatory?
Yes, yes.
Then who else?
Director planning, director of works, and also the council secretary. We are all on panel A.
Okay.
And panel B is the community members.
On panel A, the council secretary was out. Was the treasurer also out? Was the planner also out?
I think I was around at that time.
You were around?
Yes, I was around.
Who generated this payment?
The payment came from the director of works.
Is it the standard that the director of works can generate? After generating, it goes to which department?
Yes, that's the standard. Actually, the first step is the contractor actually requests. And when the contractor requests, then now the director of works takes it up.
Then it comes to...
He writes a request again, going to the CS so that the CS can approve.
So the CS was out. The director was the one who was acting.
Yes.
So he did alone. How about the treasurer? Was it the treasurer or planner?
I wouldn't know. Maybe the planner wasn't around. He was not around at that time.
The planner?
Thank you, Chair. At that point,
your mic.
Thank you, Chair. At that point of this period, it was the time when I was just reporting, and I was not yet put to be a signatory to that account.
But the treasurer was a signatory at that time?
Yes, Chair.
Is the 1 million, was it released at once? Was it a payment for a one-off payment, or it was a series of payments arising from IPCs?
Chair, the payment was a one-off payment.
DF, your mic is off. Okay.
Chair, the payment was one-off, and I also wanted just to make one clarification. So the query that arose was the director engineering had commented on the memo that came from his department, where he approved on the memo. That was raised by his deputy. His deputy is the one who signed it. Now, since the same memo came from his department, he's the one who approved on the memo. Then that same payment went to finance, and the finance are the ones that did the actual approval in terms of payment from the bank.
But the finance man is there. The Auditor General's office wants to explain before you come in, sir. Honorable. AG's office.
Thank you, Chair. What made us query this, almost all the documents were approved by the Director of Works, and some of them were not on the same date that he was left to act by the Council Secretary. Some were approved at other dates, but it's like the whole chain was approved by one person. But I'll let my colleague who was on the ground to just shed more light. Thank you.
Okay. Is the director here the one we are talking about?
Yes, Chair, I'm here.
You are the director. You were, or you are still the director engineer?
I'm still the director engineer.
Okay. AG's office behind there.
Thank you, Chair. To start with, the letter where I was left to act was given to us, and we looked at it. But we had a problem because the Financial Management, Public Finance Management Act, and also its regulation prohibits it. Actually requires that there is segregation of duties in the way payments are made. So when we looked at the documents, if you look at the contract itself, it was signed by the same Director Engineering on behalf of the CS. Then you move to the payment. The payment voucher was not approved by anybody. It was just left blank. When you go to the memo was also done by Deputy Director of Works. By that time, his position was Director of Works. It was approved by him. Then when you go to interim payment certificate number 1, it was approved by him. When you go to measurement and evaluation sheet for the works that have been done, it was approved by him. Then when you go to, they did the variation, which was about 248,599. It came from him. That is where we had a problem, because even if chair he was left to act as council secretary, there are other directors that can work with him. Since all the source documents are coming from his department, he was supposed to involve any other director, or at least he waits. Then further, chair, we had a problem also why he paid the 1 million when part of the works that were supposed to be done at the same bridges were stone pitching, and they were not stone pitched. So why was it that he was in a hurry to pay the funds when even the works have been completed? That's where we had a problem, Chair. I submit.
We thank you. Aegis Office, you are doing a good service to this country. That one, we should put it on record. You are doing a good service to this country. You can see the order. And he has justice from Aegis Office, and this is how local government system operates. You have director finance, you have other directors, even the director HR. You must have a director HR, isn't it? Yes. Who could have assumed the office of the council secretary? But this was deliberately done. Honorable Mitete.
Chair, thank you very much. Director of Works. At that time, CS was deputy.
He was not there. He was not there.
I wasn't there, Chair.
But you were a deputy.
No, I was the Director of Works.
Okay.
There was a deputy director of works.
All right.
They were called directors of works, but
Here,
now they're called directors of engineering.
Here, it says this council secretary had already approved. You've seen what you've written, eh?
Chair, with your permission, we had attached an addendum.
Listen, here. It says the council secretary had already approved. What you've written here. So here is a council secretary who already approves. Then the one who comes to act approves again. I'm interested to get to know what the substantive secretary then had approved, so that we now see what he approved and what the SAR also approved. You have it.
Chair, I'll refer you to the addendum, which is marked Appendix 4, which was the variation order that we mentioned in our report that was approved by the council secretary.
You see, the whole transaction is frightening. You see, we're supposed to be, to use a language, but we are restraining ourselves.
Chair, with your indulgence. The last one, isn't it?
Appendix, it's written Appendix 4.
4, yes.
It's marked Appendix 4. This is written Mushindamo Town Council. This is a project construction of bridge and embankment of Kiambulumina and rehabilitation of Fwembe and Kafwembe crossing points.
So he approved the variations.
The Council Secretary.
And then what did you approve, sir?
The memo, I signed on the memo and the IPC as Council Secretary.
Is it true that that memo coming from your department included works that were not executed?
Stone pitching, to be specific.
Yes, Chair. At the time we were
Yes,
paying,
and
the stone pitched was not
Why?
completed.
Why would you pay for works that have not, yet been done?
Chair, I've got a team at the office who do the inspection. So at the time they had
You are not
certified-
answering. First you've said yes, the stone pitching was not done. The next question is, why would you pay for works that have not been executed? Is that the standard in MUSHINDAMO?
No, Chair, that's not the standard. So
you want us to chase you to come with a team? So that those who are doing that, how did you, especially that you are the engineer, how did you go ahead and pay? I'll give you a chance to answer. Why are you leaning to the man who was there? You put that man in problems. This is a theft. You can't be doing this. Have you seen the order of suspicion that has been raised? You are the originator of the memo. The same person, you sign everything. Everything is done by yourselves. And one-off payment. When you are supposed to be following, you go to the site. Have they reached this stage? We pay. They claim. And upon verification, that's when you can pay. Especially when you are paying 1 million. Even 200,000. You're supposed to go and check. Council Secretary, these are the issues this committee is exposing. We are merely exposing these issues as raised by auditors. Very suspicious transaction. And I think the former CS had carefully selected director to act. According to this report, there was no memo, there is no authority which was signed by the former CS. But now, through the addendum, you have realized where are we going to be caught? You are bringing the addendum that someone signed. When not? If that was the case, why didn't you show the auditors to say there was this authority? These are the people who are on the ground. You are bringing here. You want to answer to us.
Something that I also want to ask actually the person that was acting. When you go to what I read earlier on, the last the second last paragraph, further the auditor's findings. Further, the payment voucher was not approved by the council secretary, and it was not audited by the internal auditor.
Do we have internal auditor?
Yes, Chair.
Wachambesh, were you aware of this payment?
Chair, at the time of that payment, my predecessor is the one that was in the office, and after it was brought to my attention by the Auditor General's office, that's the time I did the post audit, and the payment was initially signed. After I visited the site and found that the site was stone pitched, that's the time I did the signing of the checking of the payment. I submit, Chair. Thank you.
Just a question also there. Who should have actually approved actually the payment voucher? Because these other things actually were done. But who should have approved it? Because it was, I just wanted to, who should have approved? The auditor is saying the payment voucher was not approved. Who should have approved this payment voucher?
The council secretary should have approved the payment voucher.
And who was acting? These other things you decided to do them, but you decided to omit this one. Who was supposed to approve? Because you were acting.
Yes, correct. It was supposed to be brought to me, but I think at the time it wasn't brought to me. It was
Why? Why was this payment not brought to you? Who was acting at that time? You see, if we had the powers, just now maybe some people could have gone into Kasaranga to go and, because you cannot be getting 1 million on behalf of the people of Mushindamo. Then it's business as usual. The next thing we hear is that you are even transferred or promoted. That will not have happened. We shall even ask not only for demotions, but for people to pay back. This is deliberate. Director of Finance was at the office. All these things were happening. The Director of Finance were avoiding him. Director Planning was also there. Other directors, HR directors were there. Single-handedly from IPCs. You are the ones who approved the IPC. You follow the payment, everything. At the time that you were made to act. That's why you, instead of following IPCs, to break down the payments, you had to pay the entire 1 million. That was an opportunity because now you were acting. You were not paying the works done. That's why even the works which were not done, like stone pitching, that was an opportunity to pay. Because now you were acting, abusing your office, your authority, to siphon money from the council.
Yeah, just a moment. Very interesting. At what time was the stone pitching done? At what time? Because when the auditors went there, the stone pitching was not there. Now, at what time? And it was paid for. At what time was it done? Was it done after you were audited, or what really happened? Maybe if we can just learn from
it. Chair, from the record, it shows that the stone pitching was done after the matter was raised by Auditor General. This is when I think the council acted on the stone pitching.
You're right. Yes, and if that was the case, through your chair, where did the money come from to do the stone pitching? Is it the contractor who did it, or who did that work?
Yes. Chair, there was a balance of 64,000 kwacha that was not paid to the contractor. So the contractor knew that he would lose the entire amount if he doesn't come back to do the stone pitching. So the contractor did the stone pitching and later on now claimed the balance on the contract.
Retention, was there any retention left after 64,000?
Yes, Chair, there was retention there.
Within the 64,000?
Yes, Chair.
Well, how much was the retention?
Retention, Chair, it was about, let me ask my Director Engineering just to assist me on the retention.
The very director, you want him to...
There's another interesting question that I may wish to ask.
Yeah.
If the auditors didn't raise this query, can you confirm that the stone pitching was not going to be done?
Yes.
Thank you, Chair. Looking at how the matter was dealt with, there were chances that we might have not done the stone pitching. But however, because the project wasn't handed over at the time, so during handover, would have also noticed that there were some works that were remaining.
Yesterday I was forced to use a word to say some people are a danger to the CDF, and sometimes I don't regret. You see, it's sad. Even the quality of the works done on this bridge should be questionable. And the people of MUSHINDAMO who are expectant of a good crossing point, because of connivance between the director engineering and the contractor, you can tell that the quality of the works are very questionable. Are very questionable. This one has put me off. I'm weak because I can't believe. Where is the morality in us as individuals, as Zambians, as officers? Just a privilege to be there. Deliberately avoiding finance department. A payment is done. Yourselves, you go to the CDF committee. You from this panel, you knew that planner was there, director of finance was there, because they were not supposed to participate in the loot. Then you go to use the CDF committee. You have signed. Can you sign here? Innocent people in the community are made to sign because it's coming from a technocrat. And the 1 million is released. Part of it for the works not done. Where is the morality? Why are we undermining the good policies of government? Director engineering, you are the people who should come and add the value to these communities with your professional qualifications. But you are the people now. You don't know, honorable members. You remember when I said that I'm beginning to analyze and come to a conclusion that the dangers to CDF, director engineering, procurement, and auditors. These three, if not watched in every institution with the contractors, a lot of damage will be done. Even you, council secretary, if you don't watch that director, if you are not inducted, watch these three offices. Are they auditing? Why are the payments passing? So Mr. Chambeshi came in, the other person who was there, you have left that person authorized, because you find that they relate very well. That's how we operate in these institutions. You choose when this other person is not there, that's when you pass certain payments. Mr. Louis, they will destroy your name. The interest of the people is not your qualification or how you look, is what comes out of your office. So your office in MUSHINDAMO, through this report, done by people, not this committee, as we come to read, we are called when auditors do it. So some people say, no, this committee is tough. We are not tough. The auditors are the ones who are tough, because they are trying to protect the resources on behalf of the Zambian people. These are not individual persons' resources. These are monies for the people. The president has said, we develop this country. MUSHINDAMO here is 36.1 million. But this money cannot be given to the villagers or to the people there through a council. And that council, there must be an engineer, an auditor to check that these monies are utilized accordingly. The council secretary should be there, not just to sit in the office because the director has brought a paper. No. Should go physically to check. What are we paying? So, Dr. Mwanza, another one. We take note of you, director engineering. If at the way we are the way was going to institute other measures, so we are constrained.
Well, just a comment on this.
Yes.
The story is the construction of a bridge at embankment at Kambulumina. That is one infrastructure, and the rehabilitation of Fuemba and the Kafuemba crossing points. So are we talking about 3 sites?
Yes, Chair.
So this 1 million is for 3 sites?
Yes, Chair.
Exactly. And it was paid at once. So just hold on, Doc. I just want to move with you. Same contractor, 3 sites.
Yes, sir. So the contract was rehabilitation of the 3 sites by one contractor.
So the payment of 1 million, let me read it to be specific. It is 1,034,091 kwacha to Orbit Engineering Limited. It was done once, as you said earlier.
Yes, Chair.
So all the 3 sites, the works were certified that 1 million could be released.
Yes, Chair. So the information was that the contractor had resources, had mobilized resources to do the works. Then he wanted to claim at the end the entire amount. Hence his request was for payment after when he felt that he had completed. Hence the 1 million that was paid.
Were the works certified?
Yes, Chair. There was an interim payment certificate which was certified.
Fictitious one, because some works were not done. Anyway, too much on this. Finish, joke.
So this, Chair, there are 3 sites, as mentioned, to one contractor. Total amount 997,403 kwacha. A variation of 25% was made, which brought the total contract price to 1,246,002 kwacha. This variation, at what stage, at what time was it made? And it is attributed to which works, which site? Also, procurement, I want to ask procurement, is it standard to lump a contract which has different sites under one contract amount? Or it has to go in lots?
No, don't answer. Just let them respond. Procurement, where are we? Where are you? You are the procurement officer.
I'm the assistant procurement officer, Chair.
Where is the procurement officer?
The procurement officer at the moment is unwell. He was unable to travel.
Oh. CS, what happened?
Yes, Chair. The procurement officer sent me the sick note that was on a Monday that he has been unwell. I think he hasn't been at the office for the past 1 month, so he has just been sending sick notes.
He reports to which department?
Chair, he reports to my office, procurement office.
So only on Monday, that's when you realized. So maybe the standard questions which go to anyone who is even an assistant procurement officer, is it in order to lump in one contract projects that are in different sites, different works? If this is a bridge, this is a hospital, or this is a classroom block. One in Mandevu, the other one in Chilanga, the other one in Chongwe. Yes.
Chair, I want to state that the said sites are on one route. So initially when the scope of work was sent to procurement for the procurement of the service of reputable contractors, it wasn't questioned since the 3 sites are on one route. So it was...
They are all bridges?
Yes.
On one route?
Yes, sir.
So it is in order that way, according to standard. We are not saying it's you. We just want to learn. Answer. Doc, let him answer first. Then you...
Chair, I think it is not in order. I think it would have been given to 3 contractors.
Or even one. You mark them lot 1. You can give it to the same contractor, lot 1 here. It's a different point. After 2 kilometers, another bridge, lot 2. You can give to the same contractor, but you cannot lump in one contract.
Because had he given an advance payment bond for advance payment, you would like to, you are deducting the monies on the global. So on a certain location, on maybe 2 locations, he would have done well. But the other location, he would have abandoned work. If you had abandoned work, would you now deal with a global contract just for that particular stretch? Anyway, this variation, 25%, was attributed to which site? And what attributed to the the increase to have a variation of 25%?
CS.
Chair, with your permission, allow me to invite Director Works to give more details.
Yes, Director.
Yes, Chair. The variation in question was for Kiambulumina site. So Kiambulumina was the main project. It was a construction from scratch, while the others were already existing crossing points that just needed reinforcement. So the main project was Kiambulumina. That's why the variation was at Kiambulumina.
The principle here, before Doc, you're coming, the principle is there were 3 projects. Whether it is completion, money was attributed to that project. It becomes a project. So it is 3 in 1, different sites. And the question that he asked earlier, 900, how do you break it? Or you lump it to all the 3, 900. What was the professional rationale? What was the rationale? Because we are failing to understand. Director Engineering.
Yes, Chair. The quantities were lumped in 1. That's how the CDF committee approved it, that we do a construction and also we consider rehabilitating some of the crossing points to that main point.
You are now bringing the CDF committee, very innocent committee. You are the professionals. No wonder the procurement is not here. He knew that he was coming here. If we were the way, we are going to chase you to come with the procurement office, so that he comes to answer for himself. Procurement office and yourself, you are involved. You are the ones who are advising the CDF committee. You are the professionals. Do they know about 3 projects to be lumped in 1 contract? Do they know? No. It's you. So you are taking advantage of their ignorance. Very innocent people. You are manipulating them. Using them. There is a council, is it in Northwestern Province? No, in Northern Province, where they are still using a former CDF chairperson, a lady, innocent person, to call her to sign payments when there was another person sitting there. This is what is happening. You take advantage of these people. So the issue here, the payments that were being done, in some projects, some points, some lots, the works were done well. In some lots, there was a stone pitching remaining in some lot. So how would you, this money you are paying, were you clearing this or other one? Which ones? How much was going to where? This is the issue. Dr. Manza.
Just last comment on this, because we need to see the root cause of this problem. Was it a design omission by yourself to instigate this variation? Because this variation happened, there's no date anyway for when the variation. This contract was signed on July 7th, and it expected to complete on the 8th November. Then a contract variation before the contractor started actually doing some works. on any of the sites a variation was given to come to the contract price now was 1.2 million and 1.246 million. What instigated this variation?
Director. Before works were done.
Was it because your design and then the quantities? I mean, what? Before, because normally variations will happen when the contractor is in the maybe is even 50%. Then, for example, for a bridge, you find that the square areas for stone pitching needs to be increased. But what? Why? Because the contractor, before he started doing anything, you already increased the price.
Director.
Yes, the variation, Chair, happened not before the works, but during the works that were instituted. It wasn't before the works.
In your presentation, in your document, show us. Then
on this one, let us conclude, Doc.
Yes.
Show us the evidence. Let's ask him to show evidence as when was the variation done. Before you come, I'll give you an opportunity, Doc. Show us the evidence. Which appendix? Show us the minutes of the CDF committee. CS. We must move with time. We still have one witness. We want also to show us the minutes of the CDF committee approving this variation.
Chair, looking at the query, we didn't carry the minutes because the query concentrated on one person signing. So in our submission, we concentrated on the trail from the start of the request for payment up to him signing on the memo. So we just wanted to show that at the time he was acting, and there was a variation order which was also signed by the council secretary and not the director himself.
When was the variation? Show us, you are reading it.
Yeah, the variation
was done on which date?
On 6 September 2023.
Do you have a copy? Refer
it's on the addendum. I think that has been shared.
Okay, just we conclude on this one. Why we are giving this story is to discover as to how even the CS left the office for the director of engineering, director of works to act. So it is all through these kind of interrogations that we can conclude. The is saying the variation was made on 6th September, and on 19th September 2023, council made a payment of 1,054,091. So before the contractor pushed a claim, there could have been that kind of discussions like how come I need some more money, so where can we, and a claim is pushed 19th September, just 6 to 19, just 12 days, a contract, payment was made. Now, coming to appendix 4.
Substantial payment.
Yes, a complete payment, so to
complete,
say. Coming to appendix 4, the CS left office on 18th September 2023. On appendix 4, this serves to inform you that I will be out of office 18 September to 21 September. In my absence, I have appointed you, Mr. Ricky, as Director of Works, to act on my behalf for administrative purpose only. Okay, so on it's just 18th to 21, which is actually just 2 days, and the payment. The CS left office on. He was not in the office on 19th, but on 18th he was in the office. Then the 19th, the payment was made.
It was well calculated.
Payment was made 1 million, above 1 million quarter. We can check the proof, evidences on the appendix 4. The payment voucher was issued on 19th September and everything moved at supersonic speed because Orbit Engineering sent a receipt of payment on 19th September.
The very day.
The very day. Payment vouchers issued. Then the contractor acknowledges and gives a receipt on the 19th September, and the director works signs, approves his own application from his department. Director engineer, when you are in your capacity as the director works, it is within your mandate to issue a memo concerning the works that happen in your department. It is within your mandate to issue a variation application. It is within your mandate to issue an application for interim payment certificate, which you measure together with a contractor. And yes, all these measurements, all these documents, they are within your role.
He was very careful.
And you submit to the question now. You submit to the CS for other officers. Then you are promoted, or you are told in an acting capacity. I find my own application on this acting capacity as CS that time. Is it a standard practice that I will have to approve my own work that I applied to this position as a council secretary, or what? Is that was that in order, or what could you have done?
When this council secretary said he left on. No, you have made your point, Doc. Don't give him responses. You can tell. If director says something, he may. Is that a standard?
Chair, maybe I can respond on the standard. What would have happened? So in his acting capacity, he was supposed to approve all payments, but looking at that one payment that had come from the department, he was supposed to refer it to any other director and approve it. I also need to mention that I think in his comfort was that it was raised by his assistant, the memo. But still, since the assistant is also supervised by him, the best way was actually refer it to any other director.
That's what I wanted to say. Yes. My comment was, he was very smart. He knew where he was seated and what he was waiting. He went to his deputy. There he said, can you sign this memo? Bring it to me. So he was supposed to refer it to other directors. If the CS is not there, he's acting there, he's supposed to give it. So this whole transaction needs law enforcement agencies. If we have any recommendation to make, we need to go down the route of this. It is not a good transaction. Should not be allowed, should not be just put aside. Apart from forensic audit, we need to institute serious, if we have to make recommendations to DEC and Corruption Commission, all those people who are involved on this transaction should be brought to book. This cannot be business as usual. And this, we take note in our report. It is stinking. You cannot do that. And even, I'm very sure, even the former council secretary, this thing was well arranged. Even your procurement officer, yes, is not feeling too well. We are sorry for that. But you find out that this was deliberate. It is not good what you are doing. This CDF money is not the money that you can start playing around with, especially when it's coming from the head of state. It's not good. It's not fair what you are doing. And we thank auditors for what you are doing. Keep on until this country is cleaned. Don't look at their faces. Whether they are happy, as long as they are doing wrong things, they should be exposed so that the people of Zambia benefit. Morality should return in whatever we do. All of us. Morality should come back to this country. Starts with us. You and ourselves doing the correct thing. Those people are expectant. We are just privileged to be here. So we cannot be you cannot be doing wrong things. Another question. Doc, I will give you 1 or 2 if you marry them. Okay. Before you come.
Let's look at this one also is a point of clarification. On the analysis of
page.
Page 9, page 24.
24 is desks. 24 is the last one, analysis of desks.
Yeah, and that is what see the desk here. Yeah, I think the last page.
Yeah, I also took note of it.
Yes. So
Page 24.
We've been, they referred us to appendix 21.
Mm-hmm.
We go to appendix 21.
Your mic should be on.
Okay. We go to appendix 21, just a point of clarification. But before we go there, the action taken, management wishes to state that all the 1,041 desks have since been delivered to various schools in the district as per attached delivery notes. So now let's go to the attached delivery notes. Chair, we have a list of distribution on appendix 21. Now, when you look at the delivery notes,
CS, are you there? Last copy of your submit of the document. Last 2 copies. The whole report, the last 2 pages.
CS, just go to appendix 13 here, analysis of performance of desks. So we are talking about the 1,041 desks, which you have since, according to management, you have said, management wishes to state that all the 1,041 desks have since been delivered to various schools in the district as per attached delivery notes. Then you have referred us to see appendix 21. So when we come to appendix 21, according to me, I have just seen 2 goods delivered notes, one which has got 50, then the other one has 20. So when you add these 2, they are just coming to 70. Which other delivery notes are you talking about? Which did you omit them, or these are the only ones? Thank you.
CS. Thank you, Chair. I'm also seeking for your authority that I think on our wedding there, we're supposed to write attached sample, and they are available for verification. So there were 72 delivery notes. So now when you looked at the bulkiness of the delivery notes.
No. That one we don't allow. For how long have you been a council secretary?
Chair, this is my 7th month.
But you're supposed to be assisted. As we are evidence-based, we don't deal with samples. We scrutinize this evidence, to be fair to you. So you want to tell us a story that somewhere have left them. We're not here to believe a story, no. You are supposed to attach. We read these in the night. When we come here, we have read. We have referred to all the attachments, all the appendices that you attach. So you can't say that. That's why I've disrupted you, curtailed you. We don't deal in such a manner. That's why even it is has become a style, addendum. You are given much time to prepare reports. Then you watch. Then that's when you come. All the councils now are coming with, we forgot to do this. We forgot. It's not true. Honorable Kamondo.
CS, you said that how many goods delivered notes, the GDN, you have. How many do you have?
Thank you, Chair. The delivery notes were about 75. So, Chair, what we decided was...
no, that one I've heard, but I wanted to ask you. You also agree with me that a good...
Your mic should go.
Goods delivered would go with goods received. Do you also have actually the goods received not by the beneficiaries? They would be beneficiaries.
Thank you, Chair. Maybe if I could finish the first line that I wanted to mention, that there were 75 delivery notes. So, Chair, we are with them here. We carried them. The book became very bulky, so we had to attach a sample, but the whole documents are here with us. Then, Chair, on the verification from the receiving schools, looking at our district, so the schools were required to stamp the delivery notes using their own date stamps to show that they've received the desks. So all the delivery notes are available for verification.
That is not bulky. We have, next time, you create another folder of appendices. Even 3, 4, that's what they do. Some of the councils will come with the report 3, but you find a bulk of supporting documents. So you don't keep them. We don't deal with samples. So you should have, when you are submitting your addendum, you should have said that is part of the addendum. Addendum does not speak only to your report, to attachments. Any attachments that you feel that they are with you, you needed them for the report, you should have brought them as Honorable Kamondo, just a minute. Honorable Kamondo.
Yes. With me here, there are delivery notes, which were generated by MUSHINDAMO Council. However, most of them were not acquitted by the people that received. You can see here, no date stamp.
Nothing.
Many of them, no date stamp. Very few, if anything. Of course, some have, but many, they don't have a date to acquit, to say that this they've received.
We understand. We know what you do. And as long as you continue doing what you are doing, you may find yourselves in problems. The best is to do the correct thing. No one should come and lecture to you. You don't need to spend the allowances to go and be educated by the provincial. This is what your office calls. These are accountable documents. I've worked in the councils all my life. Are you aware?
Yes, Chair. Actually, the first name I knew in the councils was your name when I joined, Chair.
I hope you knew it in a positive way. I'm scared now. I hope I was not a danger to the council. What I'm trying to emphasize is that the basic documents that you have in the council, when you buy any item, there is what you call goods received note. The stores officer receives desks in your goods received note, which should be under the head, the letterhead of the council. Under the letterhead of the council, the GRNs. Now, when you are giving to schools, you have goods issue note. Goods issue note. Now, what you received, you are counting. Who is the director of finance here? That is the basic accounting you know. You issue now. It has come out of you. On the goods issue note, on the goods received note, there is the supplier whom you gave the contract to make those desks. He comes,
you receive, he signs, having delivered the 50 desks. The signature of the contractor will be on the goods received note. Now, when you are issuing to the school on the goods issue note from the council, the head teacher or the DEBS will be the one to receive, having received these goods. And it is on the letterhead of the council. That is a complete transaction. There is a trail. When auditors come, they will see those documents. And when the desks are given out, you would have said, here, we gave out this number of desks. But what is happening in the councils now, you have put all these accounting principles to the wind. What you are doing is something different. And the auditors is business as usual. So that's what I wanted to show you. Another question, Dr. Mwanza, as we wind up. Okay, but I'm still touched on this bridge project. When looking at the agenda, there is a criminal issue. We have already made a resolution. Yes, but on but on the variation, this is the revelation. The variation was issued on 6 September 2023, and a contractor cannot execute works before he can receive a variation. So he was given the variation on 6 September, and the variation is talking about clearing and grabbing of 0.38 hectares, removal of topsoil. I guess this variation, as the engineer said, it is attributed to Kiambulumina Bridge. This bridge is on an existing river. Please, we should stop confusing people with the engineering terms that are not applicable. What type of clearing and grabbing are you going to do on a river where you are putting a bridge? And this is quantified and was paid for, of course. And we are talking of removal of topsoil, which means you are preparing the base of on the river for your bridge. So we are done on this question. You'll be a witness. Okay. Well, my substantive question is on page 4.
That's the same page.
Oh, no.
This goes to page.
Construction of health post. Page 4, yeah. The Kalowa. Yeah, Kingova construction health post. This chair is an audit query which was pending since financial year ended 31st December 2022. And according to the first statement, is that the status of construction of Kingova health post, outstanding works included painting and flooring, as the existing floor had been removed. So on August 2022, the council awarded a contract to Sopron at a contract price of 339,944. So the query is that the newly installed floor, despite being redone, is exhibiting cracks, and the reasons are explained on page 5. Now, the health post is completed, but it's not yet operational. Why it's not operational is because lack of funds for essential supporting infrastructure like ablution block.
There are two projects, even Kirowa, I think.
So
they do a project, exactly. It cannot be handed over because another
supporting. So the question that I have of seeking for clarification is, if we focus on page 5, the table, this floor, the floor is cracked floor, is due to expansion joints, lack of expansion joints, and you have planned for it to be funded in under 2025. They are doing terrazzo. If you look at the approval from the LGO which is
not part of
it is part of it, but water reticulation is not part of the 2025 project funded projects. So how are you going to make this health post operational when in the document you have promised to say under the 2025 CDF allocation, the project has been allocated funds for the staff house, water reticulation, and ablution block. Now, when you go to the approval notice by the PLGO, it is actually project number 1 on Appendix 5. What has been approved is one staff house, one ablution block, and the replacement of floor screed with terrazzo at Kingowa Health Post. Where is the water reticulation?
Yes. Thank you, Chair. So the health post currently has a borehole. Now that borehole is a manual pump. So in the detailed contract, there is mechanization. There's already existing borehole which was put there. So part of this 1.4 million is also mechanization of the existing borehole at the same site.
No, your report says why this facility cannot be handed over is because it needed some house and the water reticulation. Why did you include water reticulation if the borehole was there? Because you knew that that hand pump cannot save the health center. Our concern is that we have these projects, health posts, which are not handed over from 2023. They cannot be handed over because they're lacking is either a house, there's no house, you need water, and there's no water. And in 2025, you don't also provide for water. So whom are you cheating, or whom are you trying to? The people are expectant in Mushindamo over these things. And there are more than 2. I've read. If not, is it the other one is I don't know where I wrote. It also is lacking something to be handed over. A project, the president has said that once you start a project, it must be completed and handed over within the shortest period of time and at the right price. 3 things he has been talking about. And we are not doing that as officers. The MP and the CDF committee approved. And they approve what you tell them. You technocrats, you do what you call engineers' estimates, whatever you give them. But you giving them wrong things, they approve today, and they can't hand over, you tell them another thing. So it can take even up to 2027, this same project. The people would have lost interest. That's what we're trying to communicate. On the issue of desks, 2,708 desks. It cost the council 2,674,730. How much did the 1,041 desks cost, and who was the supplier? Yes.
Thank you, Chair.
You have gotten my question. 2. Be specific. 1,041 desks. How much did it cost? Then who was the supplier?
Chair, the desks were given to local suppliers were different. On average, each local supplier was supplying about 100 desks. Those were the lots that were advertised, the locals. And we're glad to say they managed to deliver the quality desks.
All of them were delivered on time?
Yes, Chair, they were all delivered on time, but the challenge was that the initial contract, they were made to deliver at the civic center. The later on, as a council, would deliver to the various schools.
When they were delivered at the civic center, the auditors were doing these works from the civic center. Why didn't you show them that here are the desks?
Yes, Chair. So the query was that the desks were not delivered to the schools, but they were at the civic center at the time of audit. Hence, they raised the query.
In my conclusion, I want to state that you are not doing very well. very clear. And you are a new council secretary. Stay away from that director. Stay away from all those who may lead you into problems. You have come to Mushindamo to correct things. We have made recommendation on the transaction for this Kapilili. We want these things to be exposed. There is an issue on page 18. You go to page 18. I'm winding up. Page 18. Page 19. Yeah, page 18. No. Unapproved payment vouchers. Unaccounted for stores. Questionable payments of building materials. On page 14. Failure to maintain pupil records at secondary schools. Wasteful expenditure, dropout of students. I'm sure it's 19. I'm just reading some of the issues so that you take home. It is page 15. Unaccounted for procured building materials. You buy building materials, a contract that is given, a project that is given to a contractor, then the council buys materials. What was your interest there? Questionable payments for building materials. On page 14. So, all these are showing you that there was a field day. We shall make recommendations to the Commission. You cannot. Why were you procuring building materials on a full contract? A full contract. The council is buying materials. For what? Then unaccounted for building materials worth 15,690. They disappear. You just recover. Is it what? Shutter boards. Only shutter board remained. So, Council Secretary wanted to demonstrate to you that the things are not going very well at Mushindamo. Audit, engineering, and the procurement. Put your eye there if you are going to help that council. This goes to all the councils. Chief officers or council secretaries who close their eyes on engineering, procurement, and audit. You find a project procured, terminated, variation, additional money. That will not be allowed. So it is quite unfair to the people of Mushindamo. But this transaction, we have taken note. With that said, I want to withdraw the immunity that was earlier conferred on you. You are now on your own. Thank you very much. Safe journey.
Good evening. Thank you for still being with us here on Parliament Television. We're also coming to you live on Parliament Radio and on our National Assembly of Zambia Facebook page. So that's Mushindamo, our town council, making an appearance before the committee on local government accounts as the committee considers the report of the Auditor General on the Constituency Development Fund for the financial year ended 31st December 2023. And so we have one more witness to go, and that's Lupososhi Town Council, and they'll actually be making a reappearance. And so we're standing by for Lupososhi Town Council. As soon as they're ready, we'll cross over to the committee live. Good evening.